It's too much dip. Yeah, it is. It's a Too Much Dip podcast. Randy, look at you. I'm Dave. I'm hosting. Scary hours up here. Oh yeah, Skeleton Crew KJ not on the show today. So expect a heavy dose of Purdue football from Randy Trimbacki, who is producing.
Yeah, I totally watched more than 0 seconds of that game.
Okay.
I didn't even know it was on Friday, to be honest.
That's no way to spend your Friday night. How much Purdue football did you watch, Dillon?
None.
Cool.
Just like all year.
Oh, man.
It's just pretty much same. And it doesn't matter. College football season's over. It's college basketball season now. Everyone knows that.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Glass is half full. Yeah, Dylan's here. Hey, Dylan.
I'm low key in just pure panic mode right now. I can't find my world famous beer roll recipe that I used last year.
Buy them and heat them up in the oven.
What?
Isn't that what you making the yeast?
I made them
and
from
shit?
scratch. You dumb bitch.
From yeast?
Bitch. I mean, there is a little Bisquick in there, so it's not purely from scratch. But
Okay.
man, they're fire, and I got to find this recipe, or I'm gonna just skip Thanksgiving altogether. So
I'm hungry.
yeah. Yeah. So, okay.
Keep talking about it.
It's got cheddar. Exactly one 12-ounce lager is part of the recipe,
Okay.
and
Get your beer, Hoss.
they're so good. I am gonna get me a beer.
Well, my mouth is watering.
Yeah. Only type of logs I get is of Copenhagen.
I put them on the TL last year, and people were just ejaculating when they saw them.
Did you hear what he said?
No, what are you saying?
He said the only types of logs he gets are Copenhagen.
It's weird. I've never seen you dip before.
Yeah.
No, he's fucking dipping.
Yeah, I keep it outside the office.
And no, your statement is that when people saw the photo of your beer roll, they were just ejaculating.
That's what people were telling me. I can't confirm it. I wasn't there.
You take this show more seriously.
I'm just saying, man. That's how good they were.
I'm drinking a little lukewarm iced tea,
It's not,
unsweetened.
Doesn't seem iced then.
No ice. Glaring lack thereof. We got a big show. Hey, subscribe. Watch us on YouTube, youtube.com/toomuchdip. Also, check out our good friends at Rowback. Use code WASH20 for 20% off. Dylan's wearing a Rowback right now.
I sure am. I got the shorts on, too. The Loopers shorts and the man's best friend polo, which is fire.
Hey, Dave.
Yeah.
I'm wearing a Rowback
Oh,
too.
Randy's got one.
I
Is that the Wilmots?
No, it's the ATX one, the Austin, Texas one.
All right. I wish I could make it 3 for 3, but look, here's the deal. I'm not wearing Rowback right now, but guess what? I wore a Rowback hat to the gym yesterday because it's not just shirts, not just polos. Yeah, they got workout tees and stuff. They just sent us a bunch of winter gear.
They did.
Like dope stuff. The hoodies.
They have a new
hats.
hybrid jacket that I want to say is probably pretty perfect for golf because it's very free in the arms.
I bet that's what they had in mind.
It's got picture a vest with like
Very thin sleeves.
very thin, long sleeves like you find on an athletic
Yeah.
material shirt.
Say like you get into an altercation in a parking garage and you got to step out and it's kind of chilly out and you're like, I don't want to peel a layer just to whip this guy's ass. Well, you got plenty of room.
These will not slow down your twitchy hands.
No,
at
if you
all.
got twitchy hands and you should have been a contender, you're going to be just fine. Okay?
If you got to stop somebody out in the parking lot, this is a good jacket to do it in.
Yep. Or go jack it off.
Washed
Doesn't matter.
20. Washed 20. We'll get you 20% off at checkout, a one-time use code. So don't forget to load the cart, folks.
Load it up. Man, I miss having KJ. I just want to hear what because you look over at him. He's got like a look on his face and you toss it to him and he's got something.
Yeah,
Make it horny.
I'll do my KJ impression.
Oh,
Boys, I was doing some home renovation and my nail gun was sitting on the ladder.
Okay.
And then I accidentally, and nail went right by my head. Guy's always near-death experience with his home renovations.
Man, that sounds just like
That's not bad.
It's like, is he here?
The cadence was there.
I'll say something horny later.
We're gonna need that for sure.
He's a horny fella, and that's fine.
Hey, that's why I like him.
College football. Dillon has a new segment. Yeah, you do. You fucking said it out there.
My new
Do it here.
segment's called "What the fuck was that?"
Okay.
And it's gonna be featuring different sports teams.
Put differently, ready?
Mm-hmm. I like mine better.
But mine gets the
Mine
point across.
has a better ring to it.
But mine does end in kind of a question.
Mine's called "What the fuck was that?"
I don't know. Dylan's a little ambiguous, but Dave's hits it right on the nail.
Well, what happened?
What the fuck was that? Again, is what it's called.
How could a team lose to Oklahoma?
Hey, Alabama. What the fuck was that?
Right. Yes. Or put differently. Hey, Alabama.
Double-digit favorite against a what was it?
5-win.
5-6. No,
5-win. They were one. Yeah,
they were 5-5 against a 500 team with serious quarterback problems, and you have Jalen Milroe in your Alabama, and you just get absolutely dismantled by Oklahoma. What the fuck was that?
Right. I'm sorry. We're losing listeners. I wasn't watching this game until I started seeing the. This is why I love Twitter, and I'll never get off Twitter. Twitter will inform you when there's some shit going down that shouldn't be going down, that you otherwise, unless you were looking at your phone religiously, wouldn't know about. And in this case, it was the fact that it was I think when I saw it was 14-3 or 21-3. It wasn't going well for the Crimson Tide. So I flipped it over, checked it out. What's going on? Surely Alabama, with their high-powered offense at times, they can do this. They can come back. Their O-line was just getting demolished. The edges were feasting.
I noticed that as well.
It was not good. Milroe, when he did have time, it wasn't great. And then when he finally made a play, it weirdly there was weirdly a flag on a I don't know. I never saw the explanation there after the.
We talked about this maybe a couple weeks ago, but Jalen Milroe is kind of a feast or famine type of quarterback. When he's feasting, that team is pretty tough to beat. And he has been feasting many times throughout the season. And then he has these games where he's just doesn't look right. And he gets rattled and he makes some kind of boneheaded throws. And he had a couple of those in this game. And he was just very, very off. Have they had offensive line problems before this game?
I don't know.
College football is so weird. That's another point I want to make.
OU also has a good defense. If there's any part of their team that has been good this year,
no
it's
question.
their defense.
They have a really good defense, a really good front seven. I don't know if they've been getting to the quarterback that well though, like they did in this game. But back to what I was saying, college football is so weird. You just never know what's going to happen, man. You have teams lose games that they have no business losing, and you have teams winning games they have no business winning. Any given Saturday. There's a movie about that NFL called Any Given Sunday.
Totally different days.
But the Saturday is when college football goes on. Anything can happen, man. It's crazy.
Typically a win or a loss. Those are the two things that can happen.
Those are the two things that can happen. That's a really good point that Dave made. I'm going to add that to the run it back real quick.
Yeah, I don't know. So what do we got to do to get this 3-loss Alabama team in the playoff, though, Hoss?
Yeah, I think they're toast.
They're toast.
They're toast.
You're right.
I mean,
okay.
I know that one guy committed to Alabama, even though Saban's not the coach anymore.
Okay, there's a callback.
That's a television
to
show.
Landman. You're right. Thank you, Randy. That one guy is a fictional character created by Taylor Sheridan, in theory. Yeah, I joked. I don't know if it was on the show or out there. I mentioned a 3-loss SEC team getting in, and you were like, no, it's not going to happen. Outside chance, but there's a big movement for South Carolina should they beat Clemson.
There are some SEC teams that are surging late. South Carolina being one of them, Florida being another one. Florida suddenly seems like a really tough team. DJ Lagway, that freshman quarterback, is very, very good.
They just flipped somebody from USC too. They got a little momentum.
Of course, Texas dismantled Florida without DJ Lagway, but the offense was cooking in that game. He didn't play defense. So now Florida looks good suddenly. I don't think Ole Miss is quite deserving of my what the fuck was that segment, but they did get thumped by a surging Florida team.
Yeah, that was the one of the. I mean, the last 3-4 minutes was tough. I mean,
Yeah.
definitely like going out there like, oh, I'm gonna throw a fucking pick.
Jackson Dart he had a very un-Jackson Dart-like performance. Did not look strong at all.
I didn't want to like text the group about it. I was like, oh, Brett's probably
No.
fucking crying.
Brett, we talked about it. Brett coped by just putting up all of his Christmas decorations Saturday afternoon after that game.
I just straight up Copenhagened.
Do a whole log.
You
of
and
it,
Randy
man.
are both doing
Fat ass
Copenhagen.
log.
Hey, we're going to start a new podcast called Too Much Dip because we're just dipping all the time.
Did he break you off one of the cans from his log that you
Nope.
can get into?
Nope, I went over there and stole it.
Oh shit!
Have you looked at your stash? I
Oh,
stole
shit.
your fucking shit.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Dude,
Merry Christmas.
Dude, I was so just buzzed off of nicotine that I probably didn't even know that you were there.
I'm just going upper deck, lower deck. I'm putting it between my toes.
Dude,
Whole deal.
That's too much dip.
Literally. Okay. What else?
I want to talk Texas at some point.
I would too. I've got some issues.
Texas has become just a very frustrating team to watch.
You were there.
when the offense is on the field.
You were at the game.
I was there. The game never really felt like it was close to like Texas was going to lose. I never thought that at all when I was there. The Texas defense continues to just be so fucking stout. They gave up only 7 points. They got 7 off of a turnover, pick 6. I think there was actually ruled a fumble that didn't hit the ground. Either way, Texas defense continues to be incredibly strong. This is a championship defense. The offense is Jekyll and Hyde. I mean, I can't make sense of what's going on. Quinn Ewers in the first quarter, the first half actually looked really, really, really good. And then he had a little ankle turn, and suddenly they passed for 14 yards in the second half. Did you know that?
Yes.
They passed for 14 yards in the second half.
So you being at the game, me watching the game at home, I'm curious as to like if you're in the stadium watching, could you tell how bad off he was?
Not only could I not tell, I didn't know he turned his ankle until I checked our text group after the game was over.
Okay.
We had no idea.
So when I sent the text about why is he still out there? I think, okay, so when I sent that text, I think it was 24/7. Is that possible? I'm trying to remember where it was. I know they were up. It was before the shit got weird. It was in the third quarter.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
Okay. And it just, Kentucky wasn't moving the ball. And I'm like, okay, 24/7, this is not a blowout, but it's not going to happen. And Quinn had already like hurt his ankle or whatever happened. And he didn't look good. And it was clear watching on TV, excuse me, hang on, that he was hobbled. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
So we got the cough mic. And I'm like, why is he still out there at this point? Like, you've got Arch, who's proven I'm pretty sure he can take him home, go hand the ball off. Because Quinn just was not moving around the pocket, and he was kind of a liability out there.
The only thing that makes sense to me is that, so it was senior day. This is the last home game for Texas. Of course, there's a chance they get a playoff home game, but let's assume that doesn't happen. This is the last home game for Texas. So Ewers, being a redshirt junior, he decided to walk for senior day. So he was the last one out, and he's like, all right, so he's kind of unofficially announcing, like, this is my last game as a Longhorn, right? That's what that means. I think if the game were closer, if Texas were, if they needed offense, I think they swap him out for Arch. I think that was like, all right, we're going to let you ride this out. I know that you have a banged up ankle, but the game's in hand. Let's go ahead and let's let you hand the ball off a bunch. And if we need to convert a 3rd and long, we'll let you pass the ball. But we're going to try and just grind this out and let you stay on the field. I think Sark would never come out and say that's what he was doing. I think that's what he was doing because that doesn't make sense. He was clearly not the same guy in the second half that he was the first half. He's made of glass, man. It's so frustrating.
Yeah, and this all kind of, realizing, oh, wow, he's a little bit more hurt than I thought. And then you just start getting the weird fumbles, and the game just gets like closer than it needs to be.
It was frustrating.
Did it get down to a 1-score game? I know it got to 10.
This team has a major case of the fumbleitis right now.
It was just ultimate like fuck around, like what are you playing with your food a little bit.
Yeah.
But
that's been the story of this offense all season is that they can look unbelievable one game or one quarter or one half at a time, and then they kind of lose their way, and it's just like what are we doing?
Yeah, and then this is all very, very timely because you've got a game this weekend in College Station that essentially winner goes to play Georgia.
Winner plays Georgia
SEC
in the
championship.
conference championship game. Obviously, a really big game. You want to see Quinn healthy, but if he's not healthy, you can't put that same quarterback out there who looked the way he did in the second half.
Yeah,
you just can't do it.
No, you can't. It's a tough spot. I think they're saying like they're cautiously optimistic on the MRI, but like kind of hobbled Quinn or Arch in what'll definitely be the toughest environment he's ever played in.
Yeah.
In like the biggest game of his life, easily the biggest game of his life to play Georgia. Like,
it's a really big game, and I know A&M just lost to Auburn, which isn't very good, but this game is going to be a really tough game. Not only do we have a conference championship on the line, but you have like the whole, them playing each other in 12 years and all that stuff, and A&M is going to get absolutely up for this game. It's going to be a really, really tough game. I don't feel great. I think Texas has the better team. I don't feel great about the game.
Yeah, I completely understand that.
Very frustrating. But the defense is going to show up like they have been all season. Still a very, very good defense. So I'm confident that even if the offense is good, I think Texas wins. If the offense is less than good, it's going to be a very, very close game.
Yeah, and based on what I've seen, A&M should not be able to move the ball.
Yeah.
Texas's defense is just too good.
Marcel Reed, he's good, and he's obviously very shifty and mobile. But now that we know that he's the guy, I think Texas will have a pretty good game plan for him. Have Anthony Hill spying him most likely, like he does against mobile quarterbacks. I feel good about it. Not great. We'll see. I don't know. All this talk about Texas being a one-loss team. Oh, they haven't played anybody. I understand that. The conference, okay, they have Arkansas, of course, Georgia, who they lost to. They have Florida, Oklahoma on their schedule. Vanderbilt, sneaky good. Florida on their schedule. You can't fault Texas for these teams not being as good as they traditionally are. On top of that, Texas scheduled Michigan, who's coming off a national championship. They turned out to be not very good. But Texas has handled their business for the most part. Obviously, they lost to Georgia at home, which is a really good football team. Lay off. Like it's not Texas' fault. Not to mention, a lot of the L's on these teams' record are because Texas did beat them. Like they're handling business. So,
yeah, but like, what happens if y'all do beat A&M, and then like Quinn's hurt, and y'all have a backup, and then like going into the playoff or something, you're running with a backup. Then you can't have a backup quarterback in the playoff.
Is this a Florida State callback?
It is.
Okay.
Shout out to Brock.
I still think. Well, first of all, if Arch is playing, it completely changes the dynamic of the offense.
Sure.
He has a great deep ball, and that Sark, his offense kind of hinges on the deep threat. Quinn does not have that. I've talked about that for a while, and he's immobile. I think Texas is a better team with Arch Manning at quarterback.
No, I did see that take getting thrown around, and it's a funny callback. But I mean, like, if you remember Florida State when they did have to start Brock, what was his last name? That backup.
Don't know.
I don't know. He barely got first downs. They were awful. They were clearly a bad team. Arch, it's not even a fair comparison.
It's not.
Arch is like a proven they're still a good team.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's going to matter for Texas, but
Yeah.
I did see that getting thrown around a little bit, and I was like, man, that is just not the same.
And if Texas, no, absolutely not. And if Texas wins, they got another shot to beat Georgia, and obviously, in a bigger game this time. It'd be interesting to see how it all unfolds.
Have you followed the Big 12, the scenarios, and like how many teams are still like
I have not.
have potential to make the conference championship?
Is it like 6 different teams?
I'll put it this way: there's a scenario where Tech and Baylor play each other.
Okay. A lot of chips. They got to fall the right way for that to happen, I'm sure. But
Yeah, like, okay, so Tech clinches a Big 12 title game berth with Tech win, BYU loss, Iowa State loss, Colorado loss, Arizona State loss. Baylor clinches, Baylor win, obviously, BYU loss, Iowa State loss, Arizona State loss, or a Colorado loss, Iowa State loss, Arizona State loss. It's just funny to see, like, I mean, there's even a West Virginia path, which, if you haven't really been paying attention to the Big 12, I mean, I get it. They don't have a top-tier team this year. But it's been a fun-ass league.
by the way, for Georgia to have clinched a spot in the conference championship after week 11 with 2 conference losses. So this is my first experience like in an SEC schedule. For Georgia to have a non-conference game in week 12. I understand that it's rivalry weekend, and I guess Georgia Tech and Georgia is somewhat of a rivalry, even though I'm sure it's not. That sucks.
Yeah.
To have a non-conference, somewhat meaningless game in week 12. What's up with that?
Ooh, new segment.
You know what I mean? What's up with that? That's my new segment.
Or,
They have two conference losses, same as a lot of other teams. And to have already clinched a spot because their week 12 game doesn't matter. Like, fuck, what the fuck is that?
Who do they have?
Georgia Tech.
It is Georgia Tech.
Yeah. That's stupid. And it's because
Not the worst game.
They have the head-to-head advantage over the other 2 lost teams, like Tennessee being one of them.
Yeah.
I don't know. That kind of stinks in my opinion.
No, it does. It takes a lot of the punch out of
Week
it.
12 should be a very important week.
I mean, it is for a couple teams in the SEC. Colorado.
I guess it's not technically week 12 because they have buys, but you know what I mean? The last regular season week is what I mean.
Hey, shout out to Kansas. I mean, talk about like a
Colorado.
fucking weird season.
Yeah.
We talked about Baylor, like, who's now run off 4 straight.
Should I have included Colorado in my segment earlier?
Which one? What the fuck?
What the fuck was that?
I think that wasn't as egregious, but sure. Kansas, Colorado on the road, having to play Kansas, who is playing better. They beat 3 ranked teams. They've knocked off 3 ranked teams now. I'm pretty sure they're either a 5-win team or a 4-win team. I think they play Baylor, and I think that's a chance to make a bowl game for them. Baylor's already clinched a bowl, but no, it's a weird year, and we've been gassed. Now of course, once we start gassing up Colorado,
Yeah.
they just shit the bed.
Is it true that Travis Hunter did 2 Heisman poses in that game on the way to an L?
Yes.
Okay.
I believe so.
All right.
I wasn't keeping track, but
He still might win it, I guess. So you got to, if you are the leader in the Heisman running, you got to fit that pose in somewhere. So I guess he's like, oh shit, I got to do it while I can. But in a losing effort against Kansas, who, what is it, like around 500 at this point?
I was gonna say they're a 5-win team. What's my guy? Jalen Daniels. Shout out to him.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel bad when a quarterback coming off a good year just has a terrible year and just tanks their stock.
Yeah.
So he's been a lot better.
Yeah.
I really would like to see. I would read a 500-word paragraph as to what happened this year, as to how that team was so bad.
Especially a quarterback like that who plays for a program like Kansas, and he clearly had some NIL opportunity to, transfer and make big bucks and probably play for a much better program, but he stuck it out with Kansas, and I respect the hell out of that, even though they're just not a good football team anymore. They were a couple years ago. They were strong.
But yeah, keep an eye on the Big 12. It'll be a fun weekend. What else? Oh yeah, I did not watch any Penn State, and people get mad because we don't talk Penn State. And then, of course, I didn't pay attention to it until I saw Minnesota was going to beat Penn State. It didn't happen that way.
Yeah.
But they're right there.
The Army Cinderella story came to a screeching halt.
It's tough.
Notre Dame just beat the brakes off of them, sadly.
How does that team lose to Northern Illinois at home? How are they just not up for that game?
They beat A&M earlier, right? That was like a week 1 or 2 game, right? They beat A&M.
That's week 1.
Yeah, that was the world getting to meet Connor Wegman.
Nah, bro.
Man.
Nah, bro.
No, dude.
I swear to God, bro.
On God, yeah. Yeah.
What a dumbass.
Love that kid.
What a dumbass.
He'll be transferring. That's about all I got.
I don't know what else happened in college football. That's
I don't know. Big Ten. What do the Boilermakers got to do to make the playoffs? Dave?
It just, man, a time machine. Y'all don't have one.
A tragedy to befall every other Big Ten program.
Yes.
I know that they lost to Oregon. I think Ohio State's the best team in the country.
Well, I was going to say, Randy, this is your chance to a little Schadenfreude to the Hoosiers.
Yeah, I think it'd be hilarious if Purdue beats IU and just prevents them from.
They might, dude. They're let down. I mean, they won't. But they got rolled.
I still don't think Will Howard is a great quarterback.
I don't either.
I think he's between average and good.
I'm still rolling with my Max Duggan comp
I don't
from the
hate it.
TCU Natty team,
I don't hate it.
where he's like a dude, like you're gonna love the guy, but he's limited.
He's limited.
He's a gamer.
I don't think he has a career in the NFL.
I don't know. I don't either. But it's truly hard to say.
Uh,
They handle business though.
Actually, I did watch a little bit of sports. Why did Ohio State go for the touchdown at the end there? Was it just to get Will Howard like another touchdown?
That I don't know. Maybe it's just Ryan Day dog mentality.
I think so. He said that was like to leave no doubt because like they ran it to the 1 yard line and then their guy went down like of course like to have the game in hand and they could just need it out, but then they went for it to get another touchdown. I just didn't understand why they did that. I don't know if you guys were watching it all.
I didn't watch that part.
I'd already bailed. I knew that thing was over after the punter let that ball go right through his hands, and that was it. Like going into the second half, going into halftime.
That's a case of a team
It's like, oh,
just looking good against not great competition, and then finally facing a team that has real talent.
yeah.
You see it all the time. Like IU, it was a good story, but we knew that they weren't like for real.
So where do they end up?
I think if Ohio State loses to Michigan and Penn State loses, they make the championship because there's 4 teams that are 10-1 and Oregon is 11-0. So they still could.
Ohio State would have to lose.
Ohio
and they
State
would have to win their last game.
Yeah, IU would have to beat Purdue and Ohio State would have to lose because IU beat Penn State, I think. So I think if Ohio State loses and IU wins, they go to the conference championship against Oregon.
Wait, Indiana,
No.
Indiana didn't play Penn State.
No.
Who they lose to then? Wait, no,
They just lost to Ohio State.
Penn State lost. He should have won that game.
Who did Penn State lose to?
Penn State lost to Ohio State.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. So then Penn State would also have to lose too.
Couldn't get the ball across the goal line.
Yeah.
Classic.
I think Indiana's probably left out of the playoff unless they get an at-large.
Yeah, no, they're frauds, like I said.
But we knew that all along, didn't we?
I knew that all along my whole life.
Right.
All right. I have not dove deep into the analytics of the poll and things of that nature, but I think there's still a pretty good chance for them. Better chance for our ponies, KJ. Ponies handle business.
KJ,
dude.
you want to speak to that?
Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
They're fun, man. Handle business. I got Cal at home on Saturday, and then you get the potential SMU Miami conference championship. Right? Am I missing something there? No. But either way, SMU's fucking fun. If your team's not playing, you need a random game. Watch them.
Dude, I'm just really excited we get a 12-team playoff with actual home playoff games. This is so fun.
When I was
So
sending that
fun.
text about it being Quinn's last home game, and then like it hit me that, oh wait, they might actually, Texas has a pretty good chance of hosting. I started I hadn't thought about that since, in a
Yeah.
couple weeks. I was like, oh, that's fucking cool. And how hard is that ticket gonna be?
Yeah. Obviously never happened before. I don't know. Probably a pretty crazy ticket to come by.
Huh.
Fun time of year.
Fun time. Shout out to my cats for absolutely just getting rolled at home on senior day. The week that they extend GJ Kinney and double his salary.
Who'd they play?
God damn, Georgia Southern.
Hmm.
It was a 2-win team. Like no defense. It was group text going crazy. But yeah, that's tough. But happy that we got GJ locked. Having to talk some people off the ledge in the college group text who are like, GJ's a terrible coach. And I'm like, let's fucking calm down. Not been his
Who's
best
saying
year.
that? Does he know?
You know him.
Does he know that
You
he's
know the
coaching
guy.
for Texas State, and it's like you need
No.
to be happy with what's going on? What is he expecting at this point?
I
That's
told
crazy.
I'm like, dude, we're gonna make a bowl game again. Insane.
That is insane.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the ACC odds. Okay. And yeah, again, I got to give my weekly shots to Baylor for handling business at Houston. Houston's got a good defense. They're tough. They're tough. If they ever get it figured out on offense, that's going to be a fun team. But yeah, Baylor now somehow in the conversation, albeit like probably a 2% chance of making the Big 12 championship game. But that would be hilarious. Hey, look, man. This show sponsored by BetterHelp.
We love BetterHelp, don't
We've
we?
used BetterHelp before. It's November. It's Thanksgiving.
Got the holiday sadsies coming up for some folks.
Yeah, and like this month, it's all about gratitude. It's something we need to remember. It's important we don't forget to thank, I don't know, the person in the mirror, ourselves. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
When's the last time you checked in with yourself?
It's been a minute.
You got to do it. We're believers in therapy, and if you're thinking of starting therapy, why don't you give BetterHelp a try? It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Dylan, you've been using BetterHelp for a while.
I absolutely have. Yeah, I've been doing it for I guess a few years now, and I'm a major proponent of therapy. It's good for everyone, even if you think you don't need it. It's definitely worthwhile to go check in and make sure that you're on the right track and keeping those thoughts headed in the right direction. Good for everybody. Major proponent of it.
Yeah, it's really nice to be able to do that online.
Absolutely.
Because you just want to talk to somebody. You don't necessarily want to go into an office and do the whole thing. You do it right there from the convenience of your own home. Let the gratitude flow. With BetterHelp, visit betterhelp.com/muchdip today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/muchdip.
Proud of you.
You should be.
We get to talk about a Cowboys dub. That's different.
It feels cheap to lead with that,
Yeah.
but that was the most fun
It
game.
was a very exciting finish to the game. Very exciting finish.
That shouldn't happen if you're Washington. That's a real. Do you know how bad you have to play to lose to that team? Let alone like just make it close. Like you got to be really.
They tried to give it away. Cowboys, that is. They really tried.
What a weird fucking day. Give some props to Cooper Rush, who made some throws, was competent. Give some props to Rico Dowdle, who had a good game running the ball. Zeke Elliott, what did Zeke have, like 6 yards? Why he continues to get touches
It doesn't make any sense.
It is so fucking gross.
So many things about this team don't make sense.
It's so gross that it's so clear that the owner is dictating, like, no, this guy has to be, okay, he's not going to be RB1. All right. Well, he's still got to be your change of pace back. Like, so you'll get like a Rico Dowdle. Like,
what's the pace?
I mean, it's like we're operating that he's like still some kind of like battering ram
because he's stoutly built. He's just going to be like, get in there and thump.
He's
insane.
He's not. And when they need a yard, he can't even get a yard. And
it's bad.
It's not all his fault, but like, dude, it's so sad, especially when Rico Dowdle, by all accounts, is like a dude, 5th-year guy, fringe NFL guy who's like getting his chance and apparently is like a hard worker, a good dude. And the fact that he has to share carries with this dude, it's like just because like we sold a bunch of his jerseys like 4 years ago. It's insane.
Is the little fella getting snaps?
Deuce? I don't think Deuce got any touches yesterday.
He deserves them over Zeke.
I'd love to see it because there's a way to use Deuce Vaughn, but we're not going to be the team to do it. No. Anyway, yeah, that was insane. The Turpin kickoff return was one of the craziest things I've ever seen. I forgot that he's like technically the fastest player in the NFL.
Is he?
That's what they say. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Put him up against Tyreek. Who knows? But
well, we got Xavier Worthy in the league now too.
Xavier Worthy, good one. But that was sick. I don't know, man. It's a weird time because now you got the Giants at home on Thanksgiving, and the Giants are down real bad. So you can really talk yourself. If you're a real Cowboy homer, you can really like look and be like, 2 in a row. And
no, don't
hold on. Then you got the Panthers. Oh, Panthers they're fucking playing good football.
You still got Cooper Rush under center.
Yeah, I know, but it would be very Cowboys to run off like 3 in a row, and you get people like starting to look at the wild card standings. And you're like,
Don't fall for that. This is not a serious football team.
Then you go get Tom Brady out of the booth.
He can't anymore. That he owns.
You're right. Yeah,
part of the Raiders.
Yeah, it just doesn't fit logistically. No, it's funny because people were mad about like them tanking and like, we can't even tank right. You know that whole bit.
Yeah.
For me, it doesn't bother me if they're going to win a random game. They weren't going to lose every game. It's the NFL. I mean, something I like to say is any given Sunday. That's a thing I say.
Oh, dude, like that movie.
They can either win or they can lose.
It's like college football, but it's Sunday. 2 things can happen. 3 really. You can have a tie. Yeah. So it'll make Thanksgiving that much more tolerable. You know, you're gonna have Lainey Wilson there at halftime doing watermelon sugar moonshine or whatever. And then maybe you'll have something to play for. You got Tommy DeVito out there on the other side, the Giants, and doing the bit. Did you see Baker do that?
No.
Oh, Baker's fucking stunting on DeVito hard.
Don't stunt on Veets.
Yeah, Baker's
just a backup, dog.
Deal? Come on, man.
Yeah.
So like my fantasy season's in the toilet. I'm basically trying to not get last. I had a decent game going yesterday. It was like up in the air. Fucking Saquon just buried me.
Saquon buried my shit too.
Buried me.
He pushed my shit right in. I'm fighting for a 4 seed. I might sneak into the playoffs, but Saquon really he puts my plans on hold. Next week is the last week of our regular season, so I got to get a dub. Got to. I might even need to get a dub and like pad my points too. There's another team with the same record as me.
Yeah. I'm in big trouble.
By the way, we kind of glossed over the A&M Auburn situation from this weekend, which was an excellent 5 overtime game.
Indeed.
That was a huge miss by us. We mentioned it and we didn't really get into it.
Yeah. I wish I remembered it better.
Yeah, nothing like crazy happened. It was just multiple overtime game, and credit to Auburn. There was an egregious call that wanted to hand A&M the game. There was an offensive pass interference call in like the 3rd overtime, I want to say, that was clearly not. And it somehow Auburn still recovered, and I think they got a field goal out of it and moved on to the next overtime. But great game.
Sorry, Aggies.
takes a little bit of shine off next weekend, but not really because they're still fighting for a playoff or a conference championship spot.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to NFL.
Yeah. Look, the Eagles look like a monster right now. I don't like that.
Yeah,
Um,
they're good.
yeah, I'm my entire rooting interest the rest of this season is to just to not see the Eagles advance. But I will say an Eagles Lions NFC Championship sounds fucking sick. I'm getting ahead of myself, but
Yeah.
that would be a fucking banger
Yeah.
of a game. Saquon is looks to be like one of the best offseason acquisitions in recent years. He can stay healthy.
He looks better than he ever has, which is what he's in. What is this, like 6th year in the league or something?
It's insane. A little bit of confidence and
New environment, new team.
new team, better scheme. Like Jesus, dude.
Yeah.
They look really good. Their corners are good. Everything about the Eagles right now is pretty good. Lions rolled. Didn't really pay much attention to that. Not sure what's going on with the Texans. Lose at home
To the Panthers?
to the the Titans.
Titans, that's right. Same color scheme.
Titans. Just weird.
Will Levis. You got Will Levis.
Yeah, and they lose Jalen Petrie for a few weeks, it looks like, with a partially torn pec. I don't know, man. They had so much hype coming in, Texans, and wasn't that impressed when they played the Cowboys? Because that was like, I mean, that we've really harped on this. That's a really shitty Cowboy team.
Has CJ Stroud hit his sophomore slump? Because he's like Nico Collins is one of the best receivers in the league.
He's top 5 in my book.
Joe Mixon is having a really good season at running
Mixon
back.
looks really good.
CJ Stroud is just kind of
And their defense is good.
he hasn't taken the leap that you'd expect after your first year, but I guess the sophomore slump is a real thing.
Yeah, it happened to Dak. It was very real. It happens to a lot of guys. But no, I think their play – I don't know. If I basically am gauging group text from Houston, group text guys from the Houston area, and it seems to be that play caller is falling out of favor. I don't know what the deal is, but they don't look good. They look all kinds of out of sync. But anything else NFL-wise?
I don't think so.
Any big misses there? Panthers took the fucking Chiefs
Shout out to
the brink.
Jatavian Sanders, rookie tight end for Carolina, who's having a decent rookie season, who took a really weird fall on his head.
Oh,
and
yeah.
got carted off. I haven't heard an update on that situation, but T's and P's for Jatavian.
Did you see the fucking did you see Eckler get knocked out on that last kickoff return?
Like knocked out?
Yeah. They didn't show like a close replay, but it was quite bad.
Okay.
So he had some big hits. Man, other than that, I do want to talk. I wish I'd love to get KJ's take on this, but when you think of NBA All-Star Game, what do you think of? All-Star Weekend, I should say. You think of the dunk contest.
I think of fewer and fewer people watching.
The
dunk contest used to be like appointment television for me.
I will still watch it. I've found more joy in the 3-point shootout more so than the dunk contest now, but I'll watch both. But now we've got yet another new format for the All-Star Game itself. We're trying to do a pickup bit here, where you've got, I think it's like 3 teams of 8, or no, we've got 4 teams of 8 potentially, and they're just trying to mix it up so many ways to get some people like to follow it.
All-Star games in general are just not super exciting anymore. Like NFL, no one even knows it's happening. That's how off the radar that shit is. Like no one cares at all about.
Well, the NFL one's been a joke, right? But I don't know if there was ever a time where the NFL wasn't a joke.
NBA, I would say they don't play. No one takes it seriously. They don't play defense. The score is like 180 to 172.
But they used to. It used to mean something back in the day.
The dunk contest used to be the event, just like Home Run Derby was for the MLB All-Star break.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just doesn't. I don't know.
Yeah.
It doesn't do much.
Well, with Major League Baseball too, like the All-Star Game was a thing that was like, and that pre-interleague play, it was like a cool thing, and they actually did go all out. NBA too.
Remember, for a while, the winner of the All-Star game in baseball used to host the World Series. They have the home field advantage for the World Series, which was the dumbest thing ever.
That was bad. That was a knee jerk.
They're so desperate to get people to watch. That was so dumb.
Randall.
So can you tell me how this NBA All-Star thing is going to affect the in-season tournament? Can you report on that?
You don't fucking care about the Mavs are sneaky 2-1. No, it's not going to. And like I said, I was right the first time, by the way. 3 teams of 8. And you're basically looking at like first team to 25 or something. It's going to be very, very like fun pickup game style is the bit.
All right.
Single elimination play.
Ball up top?
Ball up top.
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
I won't be watching. I can tell you that right now, David.
Wow, very adamant. Got to give a shout out to the Duncanville football Panthers, not only for just dismantling a Rockwall team that was pretty good. They made SportsCenter's whatever their anti-top 10 is. Rockwall, of course, if you've seen the clip of the guy hiking the ball, snapping it to a punter who's not there, and then a team, the Duncanville just picks it up and just scores. That basically sums up that game. That was like the second score of the game. Duncanville scored on like their first 5 or 6 possessions, and then you had that punt, and it's been sent to me no less than 8 times. And I just want to say thank you to everyone. I was following it live, but they've got a Woodlands team that's pretty good, playing in Hutto, just outside of Austin. So if you're in the area and you got nothing to do Saturday
Those
at 1,
poor Hutto Hippos. They have no idea what's coming their way.
well, they're playing the Woodlands.
Oh, okay.
But Hutto itself as a city, they don't know. Because I feel like the Woodlands travels well, and Duncanville does too.
Central Texas, not really known for. I guess that's not true. We got Lake Travis and Westlake, who are very respectable programs.
Yeah,
but out Hutto way, this would be a spectacle for those folks. Go watch the Duncanville Panthers.
Hutto Hippos, sneaky good mascot.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Doesn't make a ton of sense. You don't see too many hippos out Hutto way.
God, I would like to watch DeCorian and Keelan Russell do their thing in person. That'd be fun.
Yeah, I would too. I don't have a great track record of watching that team and them winning, but if there is another game around Central Texas, I will very likely go. So go check it out. What else? Anything else? Any other sports anecdotes? Any tidbits anyone would like to share?
I got nothing else, Dave. I don't think that about covers it.
Okay. Yeah, sorry for the quick episode, but we're kind of up against it, and KJ's gone, although he was here in spirit, and Randy, I think, did a great job channeling him. Anything else you want to say, KJ?
Should I mention the Source Awards or something? He's been doing that the past 2 episodes.
He does like to drop a Source Awards reference, which I appreciate. All right, good work. Let's run it back.
The segment during which we talk about, we already talked about, a really short one this week. Randy's going to add some horniness in KJ's absence.
You were fucking horny.
You didn't really
sorry.
Keep your promise on that one, buddy. Dillon debuted his new segment called What the Fuck Was That?, which people seem to love.
I thought it was called something else.
Either a win or loss can happen in a football game. Per David. And finally, Randy mentioned the Source Awards. And that concludes
Whoa. KJ mentioned the Source Awards. I meant that.
Well done.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. We love you. Thank you for your patronage this season. It's been fun. Not that it's not over. I'm just saying, since it's Thanksgiving, I'm thanking you.
We still got like 7 more weeks of NFL football.
Yeah, and then
which is way too many.
And then even after football, we're still going to keep recording. So I'm just thankful. Is all I'm trying to say.
He's thankful. That's his thank bank. All right. We'll see you next Monday. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.